Dear friends, welcome back to Quest for Knowledge. Hope you all are safe and healthy. In today's session, we are going to talk about Java Collection Framework. So let's begin. So when we talk about collections are used in every programming language, and collections are like containers that group multiple items in a single unit. When we talk about Java Collection Framework, it is the architecture that represent and manipulate collections in a standard way. So in Java collection framework, we have root interface, that is collection, and further we have number of interfaces that extends this collection interface. So we have list interface, we have set interface, we have queue interface, and further these interfaces are extended by another interface, as you can see in this diagram. So DQ extends queue and sorted set extends set, right? So in this video we will talk about this list interface and we will talk about the classes that implements this list interface, right? So root interface, that is collection interface, has some methods. So we have add method that is used to insert a specified element to the collection. Next we have size. This method returns the size of the collection. Next we have remove. It removes the specified element from the collection. Next we have iterator, and it returns an iterator to access element of the collection. And next we have clear, that removes all the element of the collection. So this root interface collection has all these methods, and as we know in Java, when one interface extends another interface, so sub interface has all the methods of parent interface. So all the sub interfaces of this collection interface has these methods, right? So these are the basic methods available in all the sub interfaces. So let's talk about list interface. List interface is an ordered collection. When we say ordered, it means it allows us to store and access elements sequentially. And as we know, this list interface extends the collection interface. So when we talk about two interface, relation is extends. So one interface extends another interface. So here list interface extends collection interface. So now we know all the methods of collection interface are there in list interface, right? Now these are the methods inside list interface. So apart from collection interface methods, list has its own methods, and those methods are get. It helps to get element from list. Set, it changes elements of list. To array, this method converts a list into an array. And we have contains, it returns true if a list contains a specified element, otherwise it returns false, right? So these are the basic methods of list. Now we will go further in collection framework hierarchy. So far we have seen that root interface is collection. Next we have list interface that extends collection. Now we have classes that implement list. So these classes are ArrayList, linked list, stack, and vector. So these classes have all the methods of list and collection, right? Now let's talk about ArrayList. So as we know in Java, when we use array, we need to declare the size of it, and once the size is declared, it is hard to change, right? So for this issue we have ArrayList, and it provides the functionality of resizable array. And unlike arrays, ArrayList can automatically adjust its capacity when we add or remove elements from it, right? So that's why it is known as dynamic arrays. And we know it implements the list interface, so it has all the methods of list and collection, right? So here we have program showing the implementation of ArrayList. First of all, we need to import java.util package because all the classes and interfaces of collection framework are inside util package. So here we are dealing with ArrayList. So that's why we have a statement import java.util.arraylist, right? Next we have class named ArrayListDemo. We have main method, and next we are creating ArrayList of string, right? So here we need to specify the type of elements we are going to store inside ArrayList. So this is the syntax. First of all, we need to write ArrayList. Then we need to specify the type of elements. Next, ArrayList name. So here programming is the ArrayList name, and then new ArrayList and type of elements, right? This is the statement to create ArrayList. Next we are adding elements to this programming ArrayList. So we have add method. Using add method we are adding elements. So first element is Java, next element C++, and then Python. So here we are writing ArrayList name, then dot, and we are writing function name that we are using. So here we are using add method to add elements to this ArrayList. Next we are printing system.out.println programming. So this statement will print all the elements of this ArrayList named programming. We can also access elements using for each loop one by one. So this is the syntax of for each loop. So we are writing for string s. So we are accessing element of this ArrayList. That's why we have written over here string, right? And then we are printing s, right? So when we will run this code, output will be, so first it will print all the elements of list, and then using this for each loop it will access elements one by one. So it will print Java, C++, and Python, right? So in similar fashion we can use another methods of ArrayList. So using add method we can add more elements to it. We can also remove elements. We can get the size of it. So we have number of methods available in ArrayList. So in similar fashion we can use those methods, right? Hope this implementation is clear. If you have any doubt, any query, you can write me in the comment box. Now let's understand linked list class of collection framework. So it is the class that provides the functionality of the linked list data structure, and it implements the list and DQ interfaces. So it has all the methods of list and all the methods of DQ interfaces, right? So each element in a linked list is known as node, and each node of a linked list has 3 fields, as you can see over here. So this data part holds the actual data, and rest 2 fields hold the addresses. So here this field holds the address of previous element, and here this next field holds the address of next element, right? So why these links are required? Because in linked list elements or nodes are not stored in sequence. They are connected through these links, right? So that's why internally in linked list these links are used to connect each node of a linked list, right? Now let's see linked list implementation. So first of all we need to import java.util.linkedList. As we have discussed, all the classes or interfaces are inside java.util package. So to deal with collection framework we need to import java.util package. Next we have class named LinkedListDemo. We have main method. Inside main method we are creating linked list, and we are going to store string type of elements. So that's why we are writing string. So this is the statement to create a linked list named programming, and it is going to hold string type of elements. So whatever type of elements linked list is going to hold, we need to specify the type over here, right? So if it is going to hold integer type of value, so we need to specify integer over here. If it is going to hold character type of value, so we need to specify the character over here, right? So for each data type we need to write corresponding wrapper class of data type over here, right? So in this case we are going to hold string type of elements, so that's why we are using string, right? Next we are adding elements to it. So as we know that linked list implements list and list extends collection, so it also has this add method. So using add method we are adding elements to it and we are printing value of it using system.out.println. Now we know that this linked list also implements dequeue interface, so it has methods of dequeue also, and those methods are add first and add last, and except these methods we have more methods inside dequeue interface, and all the methods of dequeue interface we can use with linked list, right? Because linked list implements dequeue. So here we are using add first method and add last method. So this add first method used to add element at first position. After adding element at first position we are printing value of this linked list named programming. Next we are using programming dot add last, so we are adding element at the last position, and after adding again we are printing this programming linked list, right? So when we run this code, output will be, so you can relate this output. First of all we are printing the system.out.println programming, so elements are Java, C++ and Python. After adding element at first position again we are printing programming. So here you can see after adding at first position we have elements JavaScript at first, then Java, then C++ and Python, right? Now after adding element at last PHP, so again we are printing this programming, so it will print JavaScript, Java, C++, Python, and you can see it has added PHP at the last position, right? So in similar fashion we can use another methods of linked list. So using methods of linked list we can also remove element from first position, or we can remove element from last position. We can also get the size of linked list, or we can get the elements from particular position, or we can set element at particular position, right? So in similar fashion we can use another methods of linked list, right? So far we have seen array list and linked list. Now let's discuss the difference between the two. So when we talk about array list, as we have seen, it internally uses a dynamic array to store the elements, and when we talk about linked list, it internally uses a doubly linked list, right? And doubly linked list stores 3 values for each node, and when we talk about array list, it stores single value, right? So when we talk about array list, this class can act as a list only because it implements list interface, right? And when we talk about linked list, it can act as a list and a queue because it implements list and dequeue interfaces, right? So it can work in list manner or it can work in queue manner, right? So we can add elements at the first position or at the last position, or we can also remove elements from first or last position. So it can function like queue. And when we talk about array list, manipulation is slow because it internally uses an array. And when we talk about linked list, manipulation is faster because it uses a doubly linked list, right? So these are the differences between the two. So if you have any doubt, any query, you can write me in the comment box. You can also share your suggestions to me. That's all in today's session. Thank you so much for watching this video. For more videos, you can subscribe this channel. Thank you so much.